Hey guys, I'm Hatterax, and I have something pretty cool to show you. This video will contain spoilers, so if you have not beaten the game yet, please feel free to click off until you do so. It will be dealing with the Chaos Chamber. Before we get into it, there is another small secret hidden in every non-arena level in the Chaos Chamber that can net you extra crystals. So in every level, there are these chests, and these chests have shootable skulls near them. Once the skulls are shot, they will break, emit a spirit that unlocks the chest, and you receive crystals. There can be up to 3 of these chests in each non-arena level of the Chaos Chamber, but in a lot of cases there will only be 1 or 2 in each level. They are colored yellow, purple, and blue/teal, and their skulls will share the same color as their chests. This is a good way of scraping a few extra crystals per level, which have definitely helped me afford a few extra upgrades in my runs. Now focusing on the secret bosses. After completing a level, there is a chance that a colored rune will spawn on a wall. These can be hidden, so make sure to look around for them when you're done completing a level. The yellow one that you are seeing is used to activate Bunnidhogg, one of the 3 bosses you can spawn. Each of the bosses is color-coded, similar to the crystal chest I showed you earlier. When you interact with them, a small puzzle will activate in the map. The yellow puzzle spawns a rock containing a glowing orb in it. Once the orb is freed from the rock, you must destroy it. Be careful though, the orb will be projecting a beam of light around the room, and you will want to avoid this. If it sees you, it will blind you and teleport to a new spot in the room. If you get it spotted 3 times, this puzzle will fail for the run. Once you successfully break the orb, it'll explode and show a large rune in the air. This means that Bunnidhogg is activated and can now be fought at the end of your run. For the blue puzzle, I forgot to start recording until the second I activated the rune, so in the video you will see this wall here is where I found the blue rune in this tile set. The blue puzzle activates Gloopathoth. This is my least favorite puzzle because of how long it takes. You must stand in this blue essence on the ground until one of the 3 wisps above it transform into an orb. Then, you must carefully escort this orb to a blue ball of energy in the map. Be careful and take it slow around corners, because if this orb comes into contact with anything, it will break, and you will need to go back to the beginning and create another orb. You can only create 3 of these orbs, by the way, so if you end up breaking all 3, the puzzle will fail for the run. Also, I don't know if this is necessary, but I always like to jump when at the tops of slopes or hills like this bridge, just to make sure the orb has enough height and doesn't come into contact with the ground. Once you have navigated through the map to the blue energy ball, you must wait until the orb is next to it and shoot the orb. This will cause the orb to explode, and if the energy ball is in range of the explosion, you will complete the puzzle. It's worth noting that you can't shoot through the energy ball, so try to get the orb to travel on the side of it, like I did, before shooting it. Now it's time for the green puzzle. This one will activate Barkenstein, and this one is pretty quick, just like the yellow puzzle. After interacting with the rune, follow the wisp that comes out of it, and there will be a mushroom growing wherever the wisp went. Jump on the mushroom to start the puzzle. Once it is started, the mushroom will toss spores into the air. One of these spores will have purple nodes on it. This is the spore you need to shoot. Once you shoot the spore with the purple nodes, the nodes will transfer to another spore, and you will keep shooting these purple spores until all the spores are destroyed. There will be 3 rounds of this, with an extra spore being added every round, so make sure to be quick when shooting. Also, I recommend bringing a hit scan weapon or a very fast projectile weapon to shoot these, as most projectile weapons like Torgbrand could miss, and the window to shoot each of these is very tight. Now that you know how to activate all 3 puzzles, it should be noted that you can activate all 3 raid bosses in the same run. If you choose to fight them after the boss though, you will have to fight all the ones you activated back to back to back. Once you get done killing the traditional boss of the Chaos Chamber, there will be 2 colored portals, one red and one yellow. These will only appear if you activate a raid boss. The yellow one will just take you to the loot room like the standard portal does, and the red one will take you to a raid boss. If you activated multiple bosses, the order is random in which you fight them. Now, onto the fights themselves. Each of these 3 fights will be implementing the mechanics from their respective puzzles in some way during their fight. The first boss we will be covering is my personal favorite of the 3, Gloopathoth, who is also probably considered to be the easiest since his mechanics allow him to take a lot more damage than the others. During this fight, you will need to be avoiding the boss's attacks, something that is essential in all 3 of these fights for obvious reasons. The mechanic in this fight is interesting and allows for a lot of damage. So, shortly after the fight starts, the boss will become immune to damage and fly to 3 points in the map, dropping a blue energy ball from the puzzle at each point. After dropping all 3 energy balls, Gloopathoth can be damaged again for minimal damage. One of their attacks is sending the homing orbs from the puzzle at you to try to hurt you. Manipulate the pathing of these orbs and shoot them near the energy ball just as you did in the puzzle. Once you successfully hit the energy ball with an orb, the ball will rise in the air and explode, stunning Gloopathoth and revealing his runic core. Shoot this core for substantially increased damage. Once he gets to half health, the arena starts changing, and I suggest you watch out as the lava is rising. There will be new fireball attacks that the boss uses on you, and one of them will be used during the damage phase too, so watch out for that as well. You will rinse and repeat this entire process until the boss is dead. Don't worry if you use up all 3 of the energy balls either, as Gloopathoth will be making more if you run out. Next, we have Bunnidhogg. This guy is really cool and is the hardest in my opinion. He shoots out lasers that create flame pools on the ground and has a slam attack that shoots stone pillars out of the ground near you, dealing damage. The central pillar remains standing after this attack, and it is important that you don't break it. The boss will expose his runic core during attacks, and you will need to damage it. You will have a small window to do this damage. You can break the core by dealing enough damage to it, preventing the map-wide attack from happening. But if you don't think you can break it in time, hide behind the stone pillar from before to shield yourself. After dealing a decent amount of damage to him, he will get a new attack where he burrows into the ground and leaps at you. When he lands, he will create a shockwave that you need to jump over. This leap will also destroy any stone pillars it comes in contact with, so try to be in the open when hiding behind the pillar isn't essential. You do not want these pillars to break, as they get even more important as the fight goes on. After getting him even lower, he will get a new runic attack as well. He will burrow into the ground once more, but this time when he emerges, he will summon a sandstorm that will passively damage you. Your vision will be limited, but Bunnidhogg will be moving around the arena with his core near his head, projecting its light around the arena similar to the puzzle. You need to have stone pillars up during this phase or the light will blind as well as heavily damage you if you are in the open when it scans over you. You should take time to damage this core whenever you are safe from its gaze. This will be a rinse and repeat process until Bunnidhogg is dead. Another tip for this encounter is to manage the ads. They will quickly overwhelm you if you don't keep them in check. The ads in this arena are much more dangerous than the other 2 bosses' ads because these ones have guns and magic, whereas Gloopathoth and Barkenstein's ads only have melee weapons and limited range. So make sure you are dealing with the ads in this arena. On to the 3rd boss, Barkenstein. Honestly, this guy is my least favorite because of how little damage his mechanic allows. This fight is very long, but the design is pretty cool. So to set the scene, all of Barkenstein's attacks are fueled by his rune. Every attack he does will have his runic core exposed until he goes into his enrage. Shoot the runic core before he attacks in order to stun him and do a small burst of damage. After you shoot 3 of his cores, he will become enraged, shrouding himself in poison and growing more ferocious. He will attack faster, hit harder, and won't expose his runes. My only tips for this phase are to survive and manage ads until he tires himself out and returns to normal. Occasionally during this encounter, Barkenstein will return to the middle of the arena and start shooting the spores from the puzzle into the arena. It is essential that you shoot as many of these as you can before they reach the ground. If they reach the ground, they will create a large cloud of poison where they land, and these clouds will remain there for around 30 to 45 seconds. These can fill the entire arena and will quickly down you, so be sure to take care of these. Again, rinse and repeat this process until he dies. Unfortunately, stunning him is also the best way to do damage for this encounter, which is why it takes a while to complete. Alright, now, for any of you who decided to do all 3 raid bosses in the same run, you aren't done yet. Nope, there is actually an even more secret 4th raid boss. That's right, you're fighting Tina, baby, the Maker. This fight actually isn't as tough as it's hyped up to be, and it kind of suffers in the same way that Barkenstein does, which is tragic, in my opinion. So for this fight, Tina will be spewing little rabbit skulls all over the arena. You need to avoid getting hit by these since they do a lot of damage and destroy themselves on contact. You shouldn't shoot Tina with your guns as your primary source of damage either. Instead, you should be killing the bunny skulls. Once you kill one of them, they drop a runic core that you can melee in any direction. Position yourself so that when you melee the core, it will fly into Tina to damage her. After dealing a decent chunk of damage to her, Tina will clear the arena and summon a D20. She will cast spells at you based on what roll she gets, and these spells can really hurt you, but they aren't all that hard to avoid. As the fight continues though, she will start casting these while the bunny skulls try to attack you, so there's a lot of multitasking going on during this one. The fight will progressively ramp up in pace when Tina starts casting non-stop while you damage her with the bunny skull's runic cores. After getting her to near death, she will again clear the arena and start an all-out attack by jumping in the middle of the arena, creating shockwaves that can only be avoided by jumping or crouching. The speed of these attacks increase over time, and from everything I've experienced so far, this will last for the rest of the fight. I have some suggestions to end the video on regarding these encounters. I highly suggest investing in the sprint speed and reload buffs throughout the Chaos Chamber, as those will greatly increase your survivability. Also, during Gloopathoth, if you go down, don't panic. You can easily get a second wind from the orbs that he sends at you, and unfortunately, the same logic does not apply to Barkenstein's spores. I don't know why, that's just the way it is. So, that's all the further tips I have for this video. So there you have it. That's all the secrets I have discovered in the Chaos Chamber for now. I feel it's important to mention how well designed these raid bosses are compared to previous Borderlands games. As both a hardcore Borderlands fan and a pretty serious Destiny fan, it's really something great to see Borderlands add honest and fleshed out mechanics to their boss fights. Sure, I think some of them could be tuned a little differently, like Barkenstein and Tina, but this was truly great, and I can't wait to see what is waiting for us in future DLCs. Also, thank you to any of you who made it to the end of the video. I apologize for the drops in quality during this video. I don't quite know what happened there, but I do want to look into it. I plan on making more videos for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, and hopefully I could become an active contributor to the Borderlands community. If you want to give me some support, I'd appreciate if you could stop on my Twitch page every now and then to say hi or give me some feedback in real time. Again, thank you for watching, and have a great day.